Hello, I'm Desir.
Photo. Laisse-moi s'il te plaît. J'ai juste besoin de ça. So here we are in the old Plateau Cemetery, where many of the descendants of Africa Town, both historic and contemporary, are interred. I think there are large numbers of the survivors of the Clotilda found here. And to date, the most notable one, Cudjoe Lewis, is very prominently placed here. While we were in Alabama, we were actually honored to be part of a ceremony intended to reflect collaboration, veneration, reconciliation, and celebration of the descendant community, of their ancestral community here. And when we get to the headstone of Cudjoe Lewis, you'll be able to see some of the remnants of the ceremony, which just took place the night before. So there were 4 priests representing 4 different traditions, all of which obviously come from the African continent, but 2 that are firmly anchored in the continent: voodoo, the original voodoo and the Ifa tradition, and then 2 traditions that left the African continent and were, we can say, fairly radically transformed, especially Haitian voodoo, but American hoodoo. We had priests of these 4 traditions here honoring Cudjoe, and by extension the larger descendant communities. Dada had offered an interesting explanation. We talked about names and how names have been transcribed, transformed. In some cases, we can say transmongrelized in terms of their complete sort of dismantling and meeting and undoing. One of the we talked about Gumpa earlier when we were at the museum, but he also speaks about Cudjoe and the various pronunciations of that name, and how again that gives us clues about who who he actually is, who may have been in his life. And Dada also offers an interesting discourse on even the name of the ship, Clotilda. And we can ask him to speak to that.
Dada.
We can be in the shade.
The ship Clotilda.
She probably.
What is the significance of it as far as the name and
Explique.
etc.
Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire le nom Clotilda?
Vas-y.
Where did it come from?
Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire?
Origin
And then
and the connection between Dahomey, which is now Benin Republic, and Alabama, the importance or the significance of that connection.
Vous voyez tout, il y a des noms, il y a des mots. Et les premiers colons, les négriers, quand ils voudraient écrire, quand ils voudraient prononcer, des fois c'est une malprononciation. Quand ils voudraient écrire, c'est peut-être une mauvaise écriture. Ça fait que pour lire, on ne lit pas ce qui est réel. Mais pour nous, qui sommes un peu versés dedans, on rapporte toujours ces noms, ces mots, ces expressions dans notre langue nationale fongwe. Tel que Clotilda, ce dernier bateau qui a quitté Ouida pour atterrir à Mobile. On peut dire que c'est une déformation du mot Clo-Dida.
est-ce que avoir j'oublie qu'est-ce que tu dis? Je peux.
Vas-y.
Okay. Je m'excuse. I just want to make sure that we're able to recall what Dada just said. Again, Dada is explaining how over the course of history, language gets again altered, and so the meanings of place and names can sometimes be mispronounced, mistranscribed, and otherwise undo the significance of people, places, things. But there are also interesting what might be coincidences that the Clotilda speaks to, and he's going to break down that word and compare the term Clotilda with what that means, how it could be understood in the national language of Fon in Benin. S'il te plaît.
Je disais que nous, en tant que communicateurs traditionnels,
In terms of traditional communicators,
assermentés,
we've sworn,
nous avons l'habitude de rapporter certains noms,
we have
certains mots, certaines expressions dans notre langue nationale fongwe.
So
Benin.
we have taken a vow to maintain certain names, certain places, certain
Noms, mots,
words,
expressions.
and expressions in our language of Fangbe.
Dans cette perspective,
So from that perspective,
nous avons le dernier bateau
we have the last ship
qui a quitté,
that left,
qui a atterri à Mobile,
that arrived in Mobile,
ayant quitté, qui a atterri à Mobile en 1860,
that left in 1860,
mais qui a quitté Ouida
but left Ouida,
sous le nom de Clotilda.
but left Ouida under the name of Clotilda.
Clotilda, c'est en 2 syllabes.
So if we, Clotilda is 2 syllables.
Clo
Clo
et Dida.
and Dida.
Clo, dans notre langue fongbe,
Clo in the Fongbe
signifie la tortue.
signifies or means the turtle or tortoise.
Dida signifie la méchanceté.
And Dida means bad luck, bad fortune.
Donc, Clotilda, dans notre langue fongbe, ça fait Clodida.
So Clotilda in the Fon language would be interpreted or heard as
Clodida,
Clodida,
qui signifie la tortue méchante.
which would then mean the wicked, the tortoise of misfortune, the turtle of misfortune.
So who would
of
have
ill will.
named the ship then? I mean, would it have been the white men that brought it over, or would it have been fellow members of the Fon tribe or the Homme that named the ship? If it was named Clotilda, if it was interpreted, if that's how you interpret it,
Well,
the
we're
word.
going to ask Dada, but I also have a response. Mais, alors, si ça veut dire Clotilda, qui a,
Clodida.
oui, Clotilda, qui a nommé le bateau ça? Est-ce que c'était, il demande, est-ce que c'était les Africains qui ont nommé le bateau ça ou c'était les Américains, le propriétaire du bateau qui a donné ce nom? Et puis on trouve cette coïncidence.
Le propriétaire du bateau pourrait avoir donné le nom. Tout comme les Africains et surtout ceux qu'on a pris dans ce bateau-là pourraient nommer ce bateau par ce nom. Tout comme les délateurs, ceux qui ont été payés par les Anglais pour surveiller la côte et leur donner les informations, pourraient nommer ce bateau comme ça.
So slightly complicated response, but it's a complicated
We're
answer.
here for it.
It's most likely, it's quite possible that, and legally and based on what I know, that the ship would have been named by the Europeans, Clotilda, because remember, all ships have to be registered somewhere. No matter what cargo they're carrying, no matter illicit or illicit. So it's quite conceivable that improbable that the owner of the ship named it the Clotilda. But on the other hand, from the African perspective, it's because of what is being done, they too named it as the Clotilda. And it may have also been a kind of code or way of notifying the English vessels that were essentially there to act as a coast guard to prevent, remember, slave ships were illegal, yes.
Right.
And so it may have been a way for the Africans to alert the English that this illegal ship, this tortoise or this turtle of ill fortune was leaving the port.
Parce que quand tu prends les événements
So when you look at the events themselves,
dans le temps,
during the time,
il avait une loi qui a interdit,
there was a law that prevented this
qui
from
a
happening.
interdit, qui a refusé. Mais les gens ont fraudé.
But people acted in a fraudulent manner.
Right.
Et on peut dire que cette tortue
And so it could be said that this turtle
a avalé
swallowed
les esclaves.
the enslaved Africans.
Et Arrivé à Mobile,
And upon arriving at Mobile,
cette tortue les a vomis.
that this turtle vomited or regurgitated them.
Parce que, en principe,
Because in principle,
on doit normalement accoster.
normally we would have to accost,
Mais on n'a pas accosté et de façon, disons, brutale, on a descendu. Ces esclaves étaient dans un autre bateau.
Dada is hypothesizing that because of the illicit nature of this, the ship's cargo and its voyage, its mission, that they could have also been placed on another ship.
Donc, ça veut dire tout simplement que ce que cette tortue a avalé, ça n'a pas été digéré, mais ça a été vomi. Ça a été vomi.
This is a little complicated because I think Dada's speaking in parables.
Okay.
So, tu veux dire que lorsque le tortue n'a pas digéré,
Quand ce n'est pas digéré,
when the thing is not digested,
oui,
so the turtle didn't digest its cargo,
ouais,
it
Et la vomi.
vomited it.
ouais.
Mais actuellement tu as dépassé ça. Mais je pense que
Je disais que en tant que communicateur traditionnel assermenté,
in terms of being a traditional communicator or orator, that there is a vow that has been taken.
nous devons dire les choses telles que ça se présente.
That we have to tell the truth, speak in terms of the evidence that has been presented to us.
Pour avoir trouvé le bateau Clotilda
To have found the ship Clotilda
aujourd'hui,
today,
ça amène tout le monde à une réflexion.
that finding the ship lends us to reflect further on many things,
Pour revenir sur l'histoire même.
to return to history itself,
Parce que l'histoire de ce bateau a été dissimulée.
because the history of the ship has been dissimulé.
Dissimulée, on a caché.
Yes, it's clandestine, it's hidden.
En tout cas, ce qui est important, c'est que il y a ce dernier bateau du nom de Clotilda qui est arrivé à Mobile.
At the end of the day, what's important is that this last ship of enslaved Africans arrived here to Mobile
Avec la double complicité
with the double complicity,
interne
internal
et externe.
and external.
La première complicité,
The first act of complicity
c'est les gens payés par les Anglais, donc les croiseurs,
are the people who were paid by the English to
payés à 50 000, à 50, à 50 livres sterling.
people were paid 50 pounds sterling by the English
Pour donner les informations, les renseignements.
to give information to give information about the movement of ships.
Can I ask a question real quick? You said people were being paid by the British pretty much to capture slaves. Why in the African community, the black community in general, why do we have this sellout culture? Like as far as just in general, just people just selling out just for anything and everything.
Two things, as his point is not
Oh,
finished.
my bad. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm sorry. I
So the English were paying to secure information about the illegal slave trade. So they're trying to get information from those who on the coast, Africans on the coast, and others who would know what was going on illegally. However, tu peux dire que les acheteurs ont payé plus.
Je me place ici. Place-toi là.
He wants to.
Je dis bien, ils paient les Anglais, donc les croiseurs qui surveillaient la côte de Ouida. La côte de Ouida, ils payaient ceux qui sont chargés de leur donner les informations à 50 livres sterling. Mais quand les bateaux négriers arrivent, donc les bateaux qui achètent et qui embarquent les esclaves, eux autres, ils paient ces gens engagés par les Anglais à 100 livres sterling.
So, although, again, we have the English paying people who loosely put our coast guards to observe, collect information, and report out on any illicit trade. That is happening. On the other hand, for those who are interested in continuing the slave trade, the 50 pounds sterling that the English paid the coast guards, the merchants of human traffic paid those same individuals 100 pounds sterling. They offer them not only 100 pounds sterling, but also gifts.
Et leur donnent même des cadeaux en plus.
J'ai dit ça.
Mais il y a sur place aussi
But also in place,
des négociants anglais.
English negotiators.
Et il y a aussi un ministre anglais
And there was an English
des colonies
minister of the colonies.
du nom de Wesleyan, si j'ai bien.
By the name of Wesleyan.
Mais ça s'écrit W-E-S-L-E-Y-E-N.
C'est Wesleyan.
Donc, ces négociants et ce ministre sont aussi complices.
So this minister and these negotiators were also complicit in this process.
Et ensemble avec les délateurs, ceux que les Anglais avaient payés aussi sur le terrain, ils sont dans cette complicité pour permettre l'achat, la vente, l'achat et l'embarquement des esclaves.
So people like Wesleyan were also complicit in this. They continued to profit clandestinely. So they were involved in the process of not necessarily allowing ships to leave, but more allowing them to enter, to pass through whatever naval lines to get to their ultimate destination.
Is this Wesleyan connected with the Wesleyan Church?
Est-ce que tu sais si cette personne Wesleyan est connectée avec l'église Wesleyan?
L'église?
Il y a l'église qui s'appelle Wesleyan.
C'est possible, mais c'est un anglais.
Okay.
It most likely is.
Okay.
And I'm saying it most likely is because the Wesleyans had, again, it's known, and scholars like, I think it's Stephen Campbell, have written about Ivy League schools. And so Wesleyan College, Wesleyan University, it's probably all the same family, but this is something that requires, confirmation and research.
Pourquoi c'est possible? Parce que c'était les missionnaires dans le temps.
And the reason Dada thinks it's completely possible it's associated with the church because there were missionaries involved in the slave trade as well.
Donc, à Ouida, il y a 3 ports. Et il y a le port central de Ouida.
So in Ouida, there were 3 ports. There's the central port of Ouida.
Et il y a les ports anciens
There's the
de
ancient points,
Avlekete
the Avlekete,
et de Godomé.
and the port of Godome. All 3 of these ports were in Ouida.
Mais il y a aussi un autre port vers Grand Popo.
But there's another port near Grand Popo
qu'on appelle Agoué.
that we call Agwe.
Donc, la stratégie, si l'embarquement des esclaves doit avoir lieu peut-être à Ouida, on peut dire que c'est à Godomé.
So part of the strategy and then the logic of duplicity, if you will, is to say Wida, et puis
on peut dire que c'est à Godomé.
We could say that it's at Agodome.
On peut dire que c'est à Avlekete.
It could be, so we can say a ship left from any one of the four ports, Avlekete, Agodome,
Agwe,
the central.
Et c'est comme ça.
So there are any number of four locations that could be identified.
On attend que le bateau négrier là,
and we wait for a slave ship,
quitte,
leaves,
3 heures, 4 heures, 5 heures, voire même 6 heures de temps après.
So that those who were expected to inform the English would in fact have easily informed them.
Right.
But there is this act of duplicity involved in terms of you wait 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 hours before you actually report that the ship has left port.
Okay.
Maintenant, le temps pour les Anglais, les croiseurs, de venir sur le lieu exact, ils sont déjà partis.
So that the English who were there to intercept those ships, slave ships, would have
Très
missed
loin.
because the boats would have left up to several hours before.
Donc ça c'est de l'autre côté. Mais ici aussi,
So that's on one side of the Atlantic, but over here,
avec toute cette surveillance,
with all of surveillance that's taking place,
comment se fait-il qu'on ne peut pas voir ces bateaux négriers?
how's it possible that you can't see these slave ships?
Alors que les croiseurs sont sur l'océan tout le temps et sur les côtes.
In the meantime, the intercepting ships, again, the kind of coast guards, were up and down the coast.
Et ce truc a duré
And this
de...
process is studied.
Voilà. Ça a fait plusieurs années parce que en 1833, 1833.
33.
Donc, 1833, il y a les Anglais qui avaient aboli.
We had the English who had abolished slavery.
Et on disait, si vous ne voulez pas qu'il y ait ce commerce des esclaves, il faut être maître de la côte.
So if we don't want the continuation of the slave trade, il faut mettre de la côte.
Il faut être maître. Maître, oui.
That you have to be the master of the coast.
Et c'est comme ça que les Anglais se sont positionnés au port de Ouida et restent là constamment.
Because the English, in order to be, in effect, the superpower that they are, that they were, realized the way to obtain that power was to control the kinds of ships, the cargo on the ships, leaving various ports such as Ouida.
C'est comme ça que ça a duré pendant des années.
Because of, again,
de plusieurs décennies.
The duplicitous actions of various peoples, again, both on both sides of the Atlantic, that the slave trade was able to continue illicitly for many years.
Si on prend de 1833
If we look at 1833
jusqu'à 1860,
up to 1860,
ça fait déjà près de 27 ans.
it's almost 27 years.
Alors que ça a continué encore plus loin, et c'est ça qui a enrichi Cuba, ainsi de suite.
The slave trade continued elsewhere.
Clandestin.
The commerce, the clandestine and fraudulent
ça a continué.
trade continued, and it ended up enriching other places such as Cuba,
Donc, bref, il y a une complicité
Briefly, there is this
au
complicity
niveau des croiseurs, donc des Anglais, même au niveau des Français. Parce qu'à un moment donné, les Français ont aussi amené des croiseurs à Ouida. Et ensemble avec les Anglais, ils suivaient la côte.
In brief, the European powers, both English and French, continued to profit from the slave trade. At some point, the French were very much dominating, I'll say normal, the coast of Ouida. But again, the point is that there is this complicity on the part of European powers, as well as the people who would probably be Africans, to continue to find ways to profit from the slave trade.
Si ce bateau est arrivé
If this ship arrived
en 1860,
in 1860,
après 8 mois sur,
after 8 months
8 mois sur la mer, l'océan,
on the seas,
ça veut dire que le bateau aurait quitté là-bas en 1859.
that the boat would have left Ouida in 1959. 1859.
Bon. Bref, il y a une complicité.
So the bottom line is there was complicity.
Et ils le savent très bien. Ils savent très bien. Donc,
And all of those essentially guilty parties know that they were engaged in something illegal on both sides.
je crois avoir dit.
We're
Bon,
not finished.
mais par là, le fait qu'aujourd'hui, on parle de lui,
The fact that today we speak of Cudjoe Kazula Lewis,
ce n'est pas dans le sens d'une fierté,
it's not spoken of in pride or with pride.
mais c'est de tirer des leçons.
It shouldn't be so much to speak of this his
De
name in
tirer des
pride,
leçons.
but to secure and obtain lessons.
Right.
Parce que s'il n'y a pas une complicité, on ne peut pas arriver là.
Again, if there wasn't a complicity, conspiracy of sorts, we would not have arrived here.
La leçon,
The
c'est qu'il
lesson
faut
is-
changer de comportement, ne pas être complice de ces genres de choses.
So the lesson on both sides is to change one's comportment, change one's behavior, and not to engage in immoral, illicit activity.
Ce changement de comportement nous interpelle tous,
And so this change of comportment or behavior impacts all of us.
qu'on soit en Afrique ou qu'on soit
Whether we're in Africa or we are
ou de l'autre côté de l'océan Atlantique,
or on the
on
other
doit
side of the
changer de
Atlantic
comportement.
or on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, we just have to change our behavior. We just have to change our
C'est en
disposition.
cela que
It is in that manner in which,
chacun de nous doit pouvoir présenter pardon.
and so it is in that spirit that each of us really has to seek forgiveness.
Et moi,
And I,
pour ma part,
on my side, on my end,
je prends la responsabilité
I take
sur moi
responsibility for myself
de présenter publiquement pardon.
to publicly ask for forgiveness.
Pardon. Parce que c'est à
Forgiveness.
partir de là que
Because it is as a
on
result
peut
of that,
arriver aux réparations spirituelles.
because it is in that manner that we can eventually obtain spiritual reparation.
À partir de là, on va arriver aux réparations spirituelles. Et dit que, comme on le dit, s'il n'y a pas de vendeur, il ne peut pas avoir d'acheteur.
And to say that if there are no sellers, there can't be buyers.
S'il n'y a pas de voleur, on ne peut pas avoir d'acheteur.
And if there are no thieves, you can't have, again, those who purchase things illicitly. It's a question of supply and demand.
Donc nous devons tout faire pour nous aimer les uns les autres.
So we have to work in a way as to love one another.
Les rituels que nous avions fait ici,
The rituals that we did here,
ce n'est pas pour le plaisir.
it's not for pleasure.
Ce n'est pas parce que on a de l'argent qu'on a fait ça.
It's not because we had money that we did this,
Mais c'est pour demander pardon.
but it's to ask and seek forgiveness.
Par des offrandes. Et une principale offrande, c'est l'eau.
Through offerings, and one of the principal offerings is water,
Et l'eau, c'est la vie.
and water is life.
Et quand c'est la vie, c'est que il y a la purification. Nous devons nous purifier.
And with water, we're able to purify ourselves.
Et quand on se purifie, c'est qu'il y a la fraternisation.
And
Tout
when
le
we,
monde doit se tenir la main dans la main. Venez, venez. On doit se tenir
And
la
when
main dans
we
la main.
have-
Oui.
when
Ça-
we
ça-
have this kind
Oui.
of
Ça, c'est la fraternisation.
purification, we have a fraternity, we have solidarity that can come together. And so we
Yeah.
are here, and all of us were, in fact, going beyond what Dada has said, all of us were involved in in asking for seeking veneration or venerating the ancestors, seeking reconciliation, celebrating through a spirit of cooperation and love and goodwill. We were all involved in this in our various
Et
ways.
ça amène à la paix,
And this brings about peace,
à la cohésion sociale.
social cohesion,
Et nous devons être heureux, fiers l'un de l'autre.
and we should be happy and proud of each other.
Et c'est pour cela que nous ne devons jamais laisser la vénération de nos ancêtres,
And it's for this
de nos
reason
morts,
we should never
de ceux qui sont partis.
forget to venerate our ancestors, of those who came before us, of those who have left, of the dead. We should never forget them.
Parce que nous disons en Afrique,
Because we say in Africa,
les morts ne sont pas morts.
the dead are not dead,
Ils sont partout.
they are everywhere.
Ils sont dans l'eau qui coule.
They're in the water that
Ils sont dans
flows
l'air.
in the air,
Et ils sont sur terre.
in the earth.
Ils sont partout.
They are everywhere.
Parce que quand l'homme est né,
Because when a person is born,
il tombe malade.
they, I'm going to neutralize things, they fall
Et quand
ill.
il tombe malade,
And when
il y a
someone falls ill,
la misère,
there's misery,
la pauvreté qui
there's
suit.
poverty that follows.
Et quand la misère, la pauvreté suit,
And when these things
il tombe malheureux.
follows, they,
Et quand
They fall.
cette personne tombe malheureuse,
and when that person falls in misery,
elle cherche les voies
they share,
pour se mettre en contact avec les esprits.
they find they make an effort to find their way to the spirits, to connect with the spirit.
Et il va en consultation,
They go to
en consultation
consult
du phare.
with, they consult with the Fa, they consult with the oracles,
Des rituels sortent, il fait des offrandes.
they make rituals, they make offerings,
Il fait des offrandes, finalement, il meurt.
they make their offerings, and finally they
Et
go.
quand il meurt, il devient esprit, il devient vaudou.
And when they die, they become spirit, they become voodoo.
Donc c'est ainsi que c'est pourquoi nous devons toujours vénérer nos morts.
And this is also why we always have to venerate our the dead,
Nos
because we too
ancêtres.
enter into that space and become ancestors too,
Pour bénéficier de leurs énergies positives.
to be recipients of their positive energy,
De leurs vibrations positives
of their positive vibrations,
pour sauver ce monde.
to save this world.
C'est notre mission à nous de
This is-
sauver le monde,
This is our mission, to save the world,
de corriger ce monde de nos défauts.
to
Merci.
correct the
Merci.
world
Yes.
of its defects.
That was
Thank
powerful.
you.
Thank you. That was powerful.
Okay.
That was powerful.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
That was powerful.
Hey. Look at work.
Yes, are you going to pay me?
You can.
You're going to pay me.
I can pay you.
He has to pay me.
I can pay you.
How are you going to pay me?
Yes, I can
You're
pay
going to
you.
pay me with what?
Because we are talking. Yeah,
He's gonna pay pa-
Autant de ça, nèg la dit, il dit la paye moi, oui. C'est pour faire sûr, il fait ça. I just said to him, you hear what he said? He said he's going to pay me. You make sure that he does that. That's going to be my...